welcome to the Embroidered Elephant Podcast. My name is Kim and today you are joining me for episode 16. It feels like I should have a lot more than 16, but that is also because I don't post often enough. If you haven't seen me before, as said, my name is Kim and I am a predominantly crocheter. I have a small business where I make, where I sew project bags. And I do other crafty things, but again, it tends to be crochet. I haven't posted in a little while. I don't think I've posted it, well, I know that I haven't posted since June. It is now near the end of September, so we've got a lot to go through. So grab a hot drink. I've got my trusty coffee here. And let's get started. So, firstly, for a bit of an update, as I said, I haven't released a video in a good few months, and that is because I am due to get married to my partner very shortly. It is now only 3 weekends away, and I am super excited, don't get me wrong, but I have been really busy, and I will be happy for the rush of the wedding stuff, the planning, the making, the organising, the discussions, to sort of be finished and for life to return to somewhat of a calm sense again, sometime soon. I am, again, speaking about the wedding, I am so excited to see all of our family and friends. My partner's family are French and they are coming over for the wedding, as are a lot of his good friends. And I've got my brother and my sister-in-law coming over from America. And in terms of our family, they travel from, or they live all around England. So we've got people coming from Kent, we've got people coming from Cornwall, sort of predominantly in the south, but they are travelling quite some distance to come and see us. So yeah, if you didn't know, so just an apology in advance. I talk a lot and I talk to a lot of different people, so I'm not quite sure what I've said on videos and what I haven't yet said. So sorry if this is sort of going over old territory, but I decided to make my own wedding dress and it is sat just next to me at the moment. It is beautiful, if I do say so myself. Another surprise is also, I am going to cover it, but I was going to buy all of my wedding flowers, so my bouquet, my sister's and my sister-in-law's bouquets. I keep calling it a wristlet, I know that it's not, but the flower that goes on women's wrists, and the flowers for the boys' top pockets, the buttonniers. And what I was really looking forward to is going to our local florist a couple of days before the wedding and just grabbing whatever flowers were in season and just working with that, working with the colour scheme, sort of flying by the seat of my pants, just working with what I've got, which really, it really interested me, and I was really excited to do that. And then the other side of my brain that is quite organised goes, well, what about if they don't have any flowers? It wouldn't happen, but what about if it doesn't have any flowers? Or what about if they're not good? Or what about if they're not the right flowers and, you know, you only have, I don't know, a luminous pink ones when you really want some more laid back white ones? Or my brain was overthinking, and although I love the idea of just working with what you've got, I don't like the idea of leaving it to 2 days before the wedding and something could go seriously wrong. So I looked online, on Pinterest of course, at how to make your own flowers, and I was looking at all the paper flowers. You can sew your own flowers, And then I got to the crochet flowers, and I didn't want to commit myself initially to making all of the flowers for the wedding, but slowly and surely I got around to it. I came around to the idea, and that is what I've spent so much time on. Don't get me wrong, I have absolutely loved the process, and I'm in love with the fact that I can keep them forever. They're flowers that I really love, in colours that I really love. I can keep my flowers, everyone who gets a flower from me, I say it like there's loads of people, everyone who gets a flower from me will be able to keep theirs. It'll be a little memento, and you know, my sisters can keep their bouquets as well. So I'm really happy with that, and I'm really impressed with how much work I've done as well. I mean, I will go into it a bit more as we go through, but that is what I've spent so much time on these past few months. And June is the time that I sort of started making them, really set myself the goal of how many to make, working out how much of each flower I needed, everything like that. So it started in June, and that's why I've been a bit MIA on YouTube, because I've just had so much to do for the wedding. In terms of the wedding as well, I have also completed a lot of DIY projects. So for example, I made the tablecloths for the wedding. The centerpieces are handmade. What else? A lot of the signs are handmade. Lots of little bits like that. The favours will be handmade. And I will have quite a few videos on the various projects that I've had. So far, my mind is like a million miles an hour. So I'm trying to put this as structured as possible, but, you know, bear with. So the videos that I'm planning on releasing to do with the wedding is a video specifically about the process of making the crochet flowers, a video on all of the DIY projects we made for the wedding. I think that might be quite enjoyable to give inspiration, or just to be a bit nosy, see how other people do it. I love looking at other people's projects. And I will have some videos about the dress as well. So because I filmed the whole process of making the dress, minus obviously the actual sewing of it, like all of the whole process from initial ideas through to the starting to make it, through all of the different various problems I had with the project. I've got about 3 hours of footage. Now, obviously I will be not be releasing all of that. I will be cutting it back, but I was thinking about releasing 3 videos. So one for the top part of my dress, another video for the bottom part of my dress, the skirt, and then the third part will be sort of the finishing off of it, and if I get some footage from the day that I'm happy to include in the video, just sort of on the day videos. So if that sounds interesting to you, give me a follow, and if you've got any ideas on how I can make it a better process, or any aspects that you would particularly be interested in, then that would be really useful for you to leave a comment below so that I can check it out and obviously cater to what you would like to know. I'm gonna have some coffee. With this video, I will try and make it as succinct as possible, whilst giving you the details that you will probably want through watching a crochet podcast. However, it may be a little bit jumbled in the fact that I have recorded some things throughout the month and not other things. So I will be talking about, for example, earlier projects, and I will have a video already describing later projects. So I'll try and make it as seamless as possible, but you will be seeing various different angles and various different video styles just because of the nature of this video. Next month, which will be sort of the end of November now, by the time I release the next video, it will be the end of November. I will sort of catch up, go through any projects I did in October and November, and then by December we should be all caught up with various crochet projects, and then podcast 18 will be sort of smooth sailing, hopefully one a month, to keep things ticking over. I will say as well though, throughout July you will see that I didn't really make a lot of crochet projects, and therefore I didn't feel as though I had much to share. With a lot of things being made for the wedding, I wasn't comfortable with sharing those until the day. No one apart from sort of my immediate family, so my mum, my brother and my sister-in-law, and obviously my partner, knows that I'm crocheting the flowers. So that will be a nice surprise. Sorry for that disruption. I just had a delivery man knocking at the door saying, "I delivered a package to your building for the wrong address. Have you seen it?" And I'm like, "No." And he said, "Do you know where it's gone?" And I'm like, no, not a clue. Anyway, getting back to the video. So I can't remember exactly where I was. I was just explaining that I will try and make the video as succinct and flow as well as possible. That I didn't do much in July, although I did. That I am releasing this at the end of October after the wedding, so that the surprise of me crocheting all of the flowers, hand making them all, isn't ruined for anyone who happens to see it who's attending the wedding. You know who I'm looking at. If you're watching this video, my mother-in-law watches a lot of my videos. I think it'll be a big surprise for you, hopefully. So that's why it's being released sort of in October, even though I am filming it at the end of September. Right, I will get started. I will be referring to my laptop just because I have tracked all of the various projects that I have done. If I relied on my memory, it wouldn't go too well. Right, so the only project I finished in July was this lovely toy. So it has a lion's head, which was a pattern from a purpose and a stitch.com. I will try and link all of these below. purposeandastitch.com. So I made the head of the lion. They made the pattern to fit to a rattle, but I preferred it on a blanket. Again, another disclaimer, I'm not pregnant, but how can you not make baby toys? They are just so cute. Children will hopefully be in my future, but we're not there yet. But yeah, so this was a really cute, it was quite a quick make. Obviously the Amigurumi head, and then the blanket is just sort of a random pattern. I've got the stripes, and really this was a stash buster. So some of this yarn is not quite, sorry, it's got hairs all over it. That's an issue with crocheting, I guess. You just crochet with your hair. So the yarn I used was cotton. I stuffed this with spare fabric that I had sort of gathered from around my sewing room, and the yarn is different colours. So you can see there's obviously a dark brown. I have no idea where that came from. It was someone's de-stash, I think. This sort of brown beige yarn here, and this yarn where I don't know whether you can see it very well, but some of it is quite pinky. Now that is because I hand dyed the sort of brownie yarn. I hand dyed it from a bouquet of flowers that my partner gave me quite a few years ago when I first started crocheting. And I just love the look of them together. I had this project planned for quite a while, and I really like the way that it came together. So yeah, that was quite a simple one. It did take a while, obviously, to do the Ricorumi. To do a blanket in single crochets does take quite a while as well, but it was one that I didn't have to think about. I just crocheted until the yarn was gone pretty much, and I did sort of weigh out the brown yarn so that I could try and make it even with like the stripes, and I can see that I did that pretty well. So on this side I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 or 5 repeats on each of them. This one's a bit bigger, but again, that is to finish the yarn, and I managed to finish 3 balls of yarn. So in total, this project took up 75 grams of yarn. That was all scraps. So I'm really happy that that was sorted. And that has been put away for the day that we do have a child. I really love the face on it as well. That was just embroidered on. I can't remember if I blocked this project or not. It's not overly important if it's blocked. To be fair, it's going to be sat in a cupboard. Babies, I don't think are very fussed about whether a project is blocked or not. It will get spat on and sicked on and all sorts, so it's good. So that was the only project that I finished in July, 75 grams. Then moving to August, so I am... I was going to say I'll just show you the projects that were finished in August, but there's quite a few that sort of go along. So for example, a lot of the crochet flowers I made for the wedding, it was an ongoing project throughout August and September, and when they were started and finished sort of merged into 2, but I obviously know what's been finished now. I just don't know when it was started. So the main project that I know that I definitely finished in August was a donkey lovey toy, which I will insert a video for. So this is just a quick catch up for August. So apart from all the other things that I have recorded a separate video for, if I'm allowed to tell you, I will put it in the notes below this. I will probably upload this video in September just because most of the stuff I'm doing at the moment is for the wedding, and it's sort of a surprise. That's where most of my energy is going. Anyway, I finished this crochet lovey for a friend of my partner, well, myself and my partner, who is obviously expecting a child. She loves donkeys, so my partner thought it was a really nice idea to make her a lovey donkey for her soon-to-be baby. Well, that's a whole other debate whether it's a baby or not yet. But yes, this is the crochet lovey donkey that I've made. So the pattern for the top I will pop below, and then this is just half double crochets. I don't know how many chains I did. I just did it until it looked long enough. I think about 30 centimeters. It doesn't quite look square, but I haven't blocked it yet, so I'll block it and then it will be a square. But yes, I used Hobbycraft Everyday, I think it's Everyday, Tiny Friends. I used 2 Tiny Friends. This was just for the nose. The main body is cotton blend plain in grey. So then I got 25 grams of light grey, 25 grams of the dark grey, which I used for the hair. The hair I just made up a pattern for, just with increases, because I say the hair, the mane. just because the pattern recommended you add yarn to look like hair, if that makes sense. So sort of loose hair. I don't know how else to describe it. But with babies' toys, I've heard that that can be quite dangerous, and it's better to have something that's fixed. So I actually crocheted this mane onto the donkey, as I said, just using a simple increase pattern to make it curly. And then I just embroidered the eyes, the nose and the little mouth on as well. You can't see it too well, but it is definitely there. You can see it in person. So yeah, hopefully this will be the gift we give for the baby shower. So hopefully they will like it, they will enjoy it, and hopefully their baby will enjoy it as well. But yeah, apart from what I've been making for the wedding, that is the only thing that I have crocheted in August so far. As said, I've been very busy with other projects, so yeah. The total yarn that I've used I'll pop at the bottom just for this project. I haven't been tracking for my other projects, so I will have to do an update at the end. Yeah. So now that that video is finished, if I didn't mention, that is a pattern that is from jesshuff.com, and it's called the Zane Zebra Free Amigurumi pattern. Zane the Zebra. And that used, where's the tab gone? That used approximately 71 grams of Hobbycraft cotton / acrylic mix. So that one is done. And then most of the other projects, to be fair, are the crochet flowers. So this is currently what I'm working with. So you will see that I've got quite a lot. Blues, whites and purples are my colours. Green, like a dark green, is the colour of the wedding, so similar to this. But I didn't want to just have greenery. There are reasons why I've chosen the various colours. But yeah, these are the colours I'm going with. So I'll just run through them. I'll say some of them, but all of them. So I will start with the lilies. So blue is my favourite colour, and lilies are my favourite flower. So I made 3 of the lilies, and there's another one that my mum made. So again, I will go through these in more detail in the video that I'm going to release about the crochet flowers. I don't know whether it'll be before or after this, but I'm assuming it will be released after this video. So bear in mind that these flowers are quite squashed, and they have got they've got metal, like they've got wire in them, so they can be restructured, reshaped, things like that. These aren't in the finished bouquets yet, but I will just show you the individual flowers. So I've got four lilies finished. My mum did crochet one of these. I won't say which because it's probably the best of them. I'm sure she won't mind me saying that. So I've got 4 lilies. So you will see that there's 2 that are lighter colours, and one that's a dark blue, and one that's a very, very light blue. So I am aware of who is getting which flower. So my little sister is getting the lightest blue, I'm getting the dark blue and the medium blue, and my other sister-in-law is getting the medium blue. Initially I did start working with just the colours that I had. Again, I was going to use it as a stash buster, but I found that it would be quite difficult and unpredictable to just work with stash yarn, because they're obviously all different shades, and for a flower like this where you've got to make 6 petals, you don't know how much yarn you're going to have or how much you're going to use, and it would be super frustrating to get through like 5 or 5.5 flowers and not have enough to finish the final petal, and have to rip it all back, and for your work to have been for nothing, basically. Sounds really negative, but you'll know what I mean, hopefully. So yeah, 4 crochet lilies. The pattern I used was from Hook OK. She has got, I'm assuming it's a she, they've got loads and loads of flower patterns. All of them are free, but you can also buy kits from her as well. They are so good. If the instructions are a little bit unclear, she also has videos on most of her patterns as well, and they're just like some of the best that I've come across so far. So yeah, you will see that I have, you might be able to see, maybe on that one, I've put plastic stamens in the middle, the yellow bits, if you can see. And I've attached it to a wire, quite a stiff wire, and put wire through the petals and the leaf as well. So yes, they are the biggest flowers I completed. Next, I crocheted some roses. So these were from a tutorial on YouTube. I would have liked to have done the pattern from Hook OK, but I got a bit confused with the instructions, and these ones were so easy to do that I just stuck with these instead. So I have made 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these, and some of them have rose leaves on, but not all of them. I did do a few. I was going to do them for all of them, but then I thought, if most of them are going to be inside the bouquet, people won't really see them. So they can be used obviously to fluff up the bouquet a bit, but if they're in the middle, no one's going to see the leaves. What's the point in me spending, you know, half an hour or so crocheting a leaf? But yeah, these ones were, the tutorial was called Simple Origami Rose. So you crochet them in a circle, and it's so easy to do. And then you fold it in half, and it's just in the way that you roll it up that they actually look like rose buds. I did decide to crochet. I did decide just to sew at the bottom. I can't remember what it's called, but just a little green part, sort of like the bud part of it, to make it look a bit more recognisable. My sister-in-law said that that would work as well. And I know that they're not perfect, but I like them, and they were so much more enjoyable than struggling with the big pattern. So yeah, rosebuds are sentimental, so they are representative for my partner, along with the colour purple, so they will be quite sentimental on the day, I believe. And they're meaningful, so they are included. And they were quite quick to do, to be fair. Oh, hang on. I have just found some more roses that I completed. So I actually completed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 roses. Next are the tulips that I made. So my partner's favourite colour, my partner's favourite flower is a tulip. So these were the ones I actually started making first. So there are 2 in here that are more of a cream than a white. They will be together in the same bouquet, and they will sort of be individual, if that makes sense. So my plan is to give, obviously my bridesmaids will have smaller bouquets than myself, so they will have 2 tulips each. So one will have white, the other one will have cream. And I just thought that they were really cool. This was from the Hook OK pattern as well. I followed the leaf pattern, super simple. These were really easy to do. So the inside leaves are slightly smaller than the outside leaves, petals, sorry. But yeah, really simple. I think the most complicated part of all of these flowers was probably putting them on the wire. as in sticking them to this, because I burnt myself about 1,000,000 times with the hot glue gun, and it made me really dislike the hot glue gun. It's not my friend at the moment. But yeah, so I've made 2, 4, 6, 8 of these. Hang on a minute. So I just said that I made 8 of these. I have made 8 full-sized ones for my bouquet and for my bridesmaids bouquets. However, I have also made smaller ones for all of my all of the men that are coming, like the player key part. So I've made a tulip for my fiance, for his dad, for my dad, my stepdad and my brother. So I've made 5 more. And just to show you, this is how I am presenting them. So we've got a little initial on the front. This is my partner's, he's got 2 flowers. So I've got the tulip here with a leaf and just a rosebud as well. So sorry if you can hear that car alarm, it's annoying me as well. If I have to suffer for it, so have you. No, so this is the boutonniere for my partner. He's tried it and he says that it fits. So yeah, they are the same as the other ones, just as much work, just a bit smaller. I've just cut the stem a bit shorter. Along with that, just going back slightly to the roses, so I did make some crochet wristlets for my mum and my partner's mum. They were purple roses. I will try and insert some pictures or some footage here, just because they are already wrapped, and I'm not unwrapping them because it took me ages to wrap them up. But yeah, the pictures will be hopefully on screen now. And I made 2 of those. That again was from a tutorial on YouTube. I will put the link below. Next, I decided to make some, that is actually really annoying me now. I hope you can't hear it because that car alarm is just wee 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 wee. Oh. Anyway, we'll ignore that. So the next flowers I decided to make were forget-me-nots. Now these were so simple, like silly. It was silly how simple they are. Again, the difficult part for me was getting them all on the same stick, gluing them together, just because it was a bit of a pain. So these are probably my least neat flowers. So this is the one I made for myself. So this has got a mix of dark flowers and light blue flowers. You'll see that I added the stamen to the middle, and the wire is wrapped in like a paper floristry sort of tape. I don't know if you've done floristry before, hopefully that will make sense. It's not sticky. I don't know if it's just because I bought a really cheap one. It's not sticky at all. It's I've had to stick it on with super glue, which did make it a bit more complicated. But yes, at the bottom of these flowers, I can't see exactly what you're seeing, but at the bottom of these flowers, hopefully you can see there is a big blob of glue. I would have preferred for it to be less obvious. However, that was the main way that I could guarantee that the stamen would stay in properly. So I popped the stamen in, put a big blob of glue on it, and sort of pulled the wire or the rest of the stamen around, just so that it was stuck in there properly. I would say if I was a perfectionist, I might say that I really don't like the way that these are together, because you can sort of see on certain aspects, you can see how obviously it's been put together. But at this point, it really doesn't bother me. No, if someone notices the glue, I say this about a lot of things, if someone is noticing the glue on the bouquet, then clearly they're not looking at the right things. They should be looking at the dress, at the bouquet in total, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the drinks. enjoying the company. But if they are sort of nitpicky enough to say, oh my god, there's glue that's showing on her flowers, I kind of feel as though, what are you doing with your night? Which again, I know that no one is going to focus on the glue, but that's sort of what I say to myself to kind of help me feel a bit better about it. Are you enjoying yourself if you're focusing on the glue on my bouquet? Probably not. Yeah, so I made 4 of these. So one was with the mixed flowers, one was just with the dark flowers. And I made 2 more, so these will be given to my little sister. So these are sort of lighter or brighter blue. And because the yarn was a bit bigger to work with, rather than sticking them on one bunch, I stuck them to 2. So she will have 2 bunches of forget-me-nots. Again, these were really easy, Ricourumi patterns. These worked out super quick. The next I will gloss over very quickly. So at one point I was worried, I was getting very stressed and thinking, oh my god, if I don't finish all of these flowers, will my work have all have been for nothing because I won't have enough for a full bouquet? So I went online and I bought, there was a lady that was selling some crocheted flowers, and these are the ones that I really liked. So they are just crocheted lavender. They're slightly different colours, but I don't know whether you can see that on the screen. That is so slightly different. The reason I was drawn to these is because they're quite filling. So they go with the colour scheme, so they're purple, but they're quite filling flowers as well. They will fill up quite a bit of space. Whereas other flowers, you know, if you've only got one bud at the top or just one flower, it doesn't really take up a lot of space. And I feel like you need something to fill the empty space. So as an example, the lily is quite big. So say its petals span this. You don't want to make loads of flowers that are just going to sit underneath the lily, because then what's the point in having them? Because no one's going to see them. So these were quite good ones that take up space and can sit beside the lily without looking sort of strange or overlapping, if that makes sense. So I didn't make these, but these are going in my bouquet. And then the last ones that I made are a collection of leaves. Oh, there we go. So these were predominantly patterns from Ricourumi. This one I know is the big leaf. That's what the pattern's called. Some of these are sort of a selection of different lily leaves. I've just altered the pattern, so some of them I've chained less. I've worked more rounds. Some of these are tulip leaves. They're just very varied. So I did use a pattern, but I altered it, so you can see that this one is very small. But that is probably either a lily or a tulip leaf. It's a lily leaf, sorry. It's a lily leaf that I've just not chained as much and just crocheted up quicker. Yeah, those are the main ones. I've got a lot of these. So 1, 2, I can count the stems actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these will presumably go on the outside of the bouquet just to sort of fluff it up a bit and to give it more shape. But these use, again, all of the flowers that I've used, unless I've used stash yarn, which is a collection of sort of random cotton skeins that I had. This yarn and the lily yarn is cotton from Hobby. It's Hobby Friends cotton. 4/8 maybe, or 3/8, I don't know. Don't know what the numbers stand for, so I'm not quite sure what it is. But yeah, these are all of the leaves I made. I wasn't too sure on the variegated yarn, but I think it looks okay, and because all of the flowers aren't variegated, they will look quite nice, I hope. And then this leaf is the only one that's a slightly different well, a very different shape. I don't know what I did with this one, whether I used the pattern or whether I just freehanded it. Pretty sure I freehanded this because I started a pattern and it didn't go too well, so yeah. Just wanted to see what I could do with it. So that is the project that has been taking up most of my sort of headspace. Hopefully you can see why, and I'm hoping as well to have some pictures of the finished bouquet. Hopefully I can put it here or maybe at the end of the video. I will be putting the bouquets together a couple of days before the wedding, just because I've only got one flower pot and they need to hold their shape a bit more. As I said, the wire is really bendy, so I just want to sort of pull them to the right shape, leave them where they are, and for my bridesmaids to just be able to pick them up in the morning and they'll be sort of perfect. The other reason I'm leaving them is because my mum is also crocheting me some flowers. So I told her that I really like hydrangeas, so she is making me a bunch of hydrangeas. I don't know, I think she's made a couple of leaves as well, so fern leaves, which looks super complex, so thank you very much, Mum. And some other flowers, so wisteria, so the long dangly flowers. So they will likely be at the front of my bouquet, so that they sort of, I really like the shape rather than just being a ball, sort of having it as you see it from the front, sort of going down, kind of like a triangle. I can't remember what they call that. Is it a cascading bouquet? So that's why I made the longer leaves. The wisteria will be in the front, so that will give the effect as well. And I will be picking that up next week, which I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to see it and to give my mum a massive thank you so much for investing so much time and patience into the wedding day. So yes, that was a big project. So wedding aside, a couple of things I made. So I am currently doing the Yarn Friends Rock challenge for 2024. So every day in September there's a different prompt for crocheters and knitters to share some of their crochet and knitting makes. Some of these I didn't really have an idea for, so a lot of the projects admittedly already had pictures, because I crochet a lot and don't necessarily Instagram a lot, so I don't share the process or the finished projects because I just don't. So one of the prompts for September, it was on the 16th, was clashing. And although I had a couple of ideas for this, one of the ideas that I really wanted to do, and it was a project that I kept meaning to do but I kept putting off, was to have clashing sort of textures. So I will put a video here of some cactuses that I had in my bathroom, and as you can see, I'm sorry if this is a horror story to you, they are a little bit dead. So my idea was to crochet some friends for the one that is just about hanging on there. So these were the cactuses that I made. Again, just using stash yarn, so I just crocheted until the yarn was gone. I followed the pattern but just sort of kept going, if that makes sense. So the first one I made was a pattern by Yarn Plaza, and I just sewed a little and I just sewed 2 little flowers on the top. This was a really simple one. It looks like a single crochet sort of in a square. Then you join the ends and cinch the top together. It's a combination of back post crochet. That's what the effect is, but it's a free pattern online. Again, I'll link it below. Really simple, much fatter than maybe the pattern called for, but it used all of my yarn. And this was done in September, as I said. So this used 8 grams of stash. The next crochet cactus that I finished was this one. I say 2 technically. So the pattern was by Yarn Plaza as well, on the same sort of on the same blog post. The way that this one was shared was this little ball was meant to be on top, and it was a different colour. So you see those sometimes at garden centres, they have like a red ball on top or a pink ball. But I just decided to again finish the yarn off and make them into 2 different cactuses. So this is just a little ball, and this one is quite cute. It's like triangular shaped, which is really interesting to how it's done. So I made these. I really like the colours of these because it looks more natural. It also matches the other one that's nearly dead as well. But I like the decoration on this one. So this one used 9 grams. So together, nearly 20 grams used of stash yarn. And I just use, for this, I just used random stuffing. Again, scraps that I had lying around. So they're done. And it adds a bit of colour to the bathroom as well, seeing as the other ones were dead. So again, that was finished in September. Then we've got the rest of the plants. I did finish a project for my partner. I did record a video, so I'm just going to pop it here. Hello, it is me. It is September at the moment, sort of mid-September. I think it's about the 15th or 16th today. I was just coming on to show one of only a few crochet projects that I finished so far. So this is sort of 2 in 1, so I'll show you it here. So I'll take the lid off. So the mushroom was part of a trick or treat deal last year. So on Toft you would go on the website and order a trick or a treat box. I got a trick and I received a mushroom. Some of the treats were subscriptions, yarn, some of their kits, etc. And then the other thing that I have finished is this little guy on top, which is a little snail, hopefully you can tell. And this was a pattern by Ricorumi out of their book Shrooms. So I used the same yarn and I've just popped it in a little case, which is quite difficult to see because it's reflective. So the case has a wooden bottom. I've just painted it black because all of the ones in the Ricorumi book were black, so I thought that was a trend to go with. And it's just got this plastic dome on top. This will be a present for my partner. A lot of the mushrooms in the book do actually have like a silver label on the front with I guess the name of the mushroom on it. I think I might not do that because if I were to do it, it would be on a white label and I would be writing it and it might not look as professional. But I am debating whether to give this to my partner for his birthday or for Christmas. I think probably birthday because it's close to October. He used to go mushroom picking with his dad quite a lot, so hopefully that will be semi-sentimental. I know that he didn't go mushroom picking with me, but you know. And a snail on top because he is French, and what represents France better than snails and frog's legs? Yeah, so hopefully he likes that. The only thing I'm not sure about is the colours. I did talk to him and he said he preferred like a red colour, but I thought yellow was what was included in the kit. I'm not trying to buy any more yarn, and I think it goes better as a snail's shell. So yeah, sorry partner, but you've got a yellow mushroom instead of a red one. So yeah, I thought I'd show you that before I sort of wrap it up and inevitably give it to him at some point. I didn't want to forget. I do need to weigh the yarn that I've got left. I've only got a little bit, but that will obviously go back into my stash. And this was a project that was in my to-do or my planned projects for ages, so that's finished. It took, if I'd have been able to do it all in sort of a day or half a day. I spread it out over 2 days, so I finished the stalk of the mushroom first. So I did the cap of the mushroom this morning. The couple of things that I struggled with the Toft pattern. So these I did just embroider in the little white parts. I just stitched them in with double the thread, sort of held the yarn double and threaded it through. There was instructions on how to make it a puff stitch, but I've never used a puff stitch on something on crochet, so I struggled with that, and I thought there's no point in struggling to get something perfect when I know a perfect way to solve the problem, so that is what I did. And the other thing was just under the mushroom, so I don't know how well you can see my stitches. So there was a back post and a front post part of the crochet pattern, but it was a front post increase, which I've never done before. And granted, I 100% could have gone online and looked up how to do it. I didn't. So I did the increase normally, and then the next stitch that was meant to be back post, I just did that back post. So that's why I've got a bit of a funky design, but I quite like it. I wouldn't say it's authentic, but I quite like it anyway. And the snail was fine. I think that if I'd have used the sort of Chanel yarn that Ricorumi sort of said to use, it probably would have been fluffier. It's got these little eyes on the top. They were fine. It was really easy to do, to be fair. In the pattern, the shell of the snail is striped. But again, I wanted it to match, so I left it the way it was. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to present it yet, but that's the finished project for September. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm really excited for my wedding, but I'm looking forward to when it's over, so I can start getting back to some normality with finding out how much yarn I've used, updating you all with what I've used, where I'm at with stash down. I can tell you now, it hasn't gone great. Who would have thought it hasn't gone amazing? But I have used quite a bit of yarn. And yeah, just getting back to sort of posting regularly and knowing that I've only got sort of bags to make rather than preparing for the wedding as well. I'm looking forward to not juggling so many balls. So yeah. But I'm very happy with it. And I personally love the colour. So even if he doesn't like the yellow, I love it. It's a beautiful sort of ochre mustard colour. So yeah. I just remembered as well, another project that I have finished this month is a lily for my mum. So it's also my mum's birthday coming up, and for her birthday I had an idea to make her a carder lily, or sort of like a peace lily, I think they call it. It's got a yellow stamen just sticking out the middle, and it's sort of got one petal that comes up. If that does it any justice. I've taken videos, so you'll be able to see it anyway. I finished that and I put it in a vase with some glass beads and some tissue paper just to bulk it out a little bit. I was toying with the idea of making more, but sometimes less is more, and I think usually when they grow in sort of 3 or 4 of them, and they have like a big bush of like long leaves, and I thought if I do too many it would look weird because the top of the vase was quite small as well. But I really like it. My mum's favourite colour is purple as well, so hopefully she likes it as well. But yeah, that is what I have been doing this month. The totals for my mum's project will probably be included in the totals for flowers for September, not included in this month. No, not included separately, I mean. But yeah, all good. Yeah, all good. So those are the two projects that I have finished independently from the wedding flowers at the moment. So yes, happy days, happy. Next, two whips that have been on my pile for absolutely, like, since the beginning of the year. So I had a pair of socks. So these were Joe's Cozy Toes. So I finished the black and white one, and then I had to finish the white and black one. So the yarn is from Felt Fusion. It was really nice to work with, and I love the variegation in this yarn. So you can see some spots are sort of yellow, blue, orangey. It's not just black and white, which is really nice. And they worked up fairly quickly. So the reason I'd been putting it off for so long is because I thought I remembered the pattern being really complicated. It was one of those patterns where you had to always count your stitches. It wasn't like that at all. You just had, there was quite a lot of rounds to keep track of, but if you're fairly organised, it's not that difficult to do. This worked up in maybe a week and two, and that wasn't solid working on it. That was just sort of getting it done, if that makes sense. Working on it in the evenings when I had some time. So yeah, that was super easy. And I'm so glad that it's finished now. They have just been blocked and washed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these off the blockers and being able to use them. They are actually dry now as well, so I can actually wear them. And I only finished those last Thursday. So again, this has been on my project list for nearly a year at least. And they're done. They're done. Yay. And some more really good news is, again, if you've seen my if you've seen any of my podcasts before, you may or may not be aware that I was working on a present garland. So I'll see if I can put a picture here of what it looks like before. I was simply using so what I was simply doing before is using a Ricorumi spin yarn, which is basically variegated. So it started at white, then it went to sort of one strand of white, started with white, went to one strand of green, two strands of green, three strands of green, went into green, then went into one strand of dark green, and sort of the colours sort of went, I don't know how best to describe it, it went from white to green to dark green to red to medium red to dark red. So it's very Christmassy, and my idea initially was to make a present garland from them. So make lots of little crochet squares in various shapes, put a little sort of a red cross in the middle with a bow on the top so that it looked like presents, and I could hang those up around Christmas time. They were really cute, but I was thinking, when am I actually going to use them? I will have them up around Christmas, but it's a lot of work for a little reward. So I had the great idea of making an advent calendar as well instead. So I crocheted 25 squares and I put them all on an advent calendar. So all of the squares are roughly the same size, though there are variations, I'm sure. I crocheted the 25 of them. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, so I crocheted the 25 squares, embroidered the numbers on each of them, and then I crocheted the back panel. So I just freehanded the back panel. It was really quite simple. I just needed to make sure that it was long enough for all of the squares to fit onto. You will see at the bottom of the panel it does use some sort of white/green, and then the rest of it is red. That is firstly to make the pattern sort of blend in more with the presents, but it is also there to use up the rest of the yarn. So I used up all of the yarn that I had for that project, and I used a lot of the red cotton as well. So all of this is made with cotton. The pain in the bum, or the bit that I hadn't quite considered, is how difficult it would be it's not difficult, sorry, how time consuming it would be to sew all of the squares onto the backing. So it did take quite a while, and I don't know how good the camera is, but you may be able to see some like little bits dangling off the back. Now that is because I've got a confession to make. So I did sew all of the presents onto this garland, and then when it came to weaving the ends in, because there was like four ends per present, which I won't do the maths for it, it's about 100. I did do the maths for it. It was a lot of ends to weave in, and I just did not have the time, the patience, or really the care to do it. So instead of weaving the ends in, I tied them in a knot. I tied the ends to the main fabric, and then I glue gunned them to the back of the project. So this doesn't need to be perfect. It really doesn't. It's only for my use, or my partner's. If he's feeling really generous, he might fill it with Lindt chocolates or something. If he's watching, maybe he will get the hint. He doesn't watch my videos. Yeah, so I was thinking that I can use this for a couple of things. So I was thinking maybe it might be a bit small for chocolates or little presents. I mean, you can get little chocolates in there, but you know. So I was thinking it might be really nice for notes. So I could either, these are my considerations, so I can either put some little notes in there for my partner every day of, you know, reasons why I love you, or something equally as romantic as that. Or I could put little ideas for videos in there, and then every day I will sort of I will make 25 ideas for videos, and I will randomly allocate them to different days of the month, and then I can base the video for each day of Vlogmas on what I pick up. I haven't decided fully whether I'm doing Vlogmas yet this year, because it's a lot of work, but it is very rewarding as well. It's really nice to sort of get all the ideas out from the year and just put them on the internet, which is really nice. And as I said, it's rewarding as well. But yes, so the tops, so the background is made with double crochets. The top loops are made with double crochets, and I've just put a little button in each of them so that you can hang it up. You can put a rod through here so they can hang up somewhere. Yeah, and because it's double crochet, I don't need to make a special loop either. It can go through any of them. So if you have a rod that is really tight, you can sort of adjust this. Yeah. And the buttons are sewn on. I did feel like I was cheating when I glued the ends on, but I just didn't have time for it. But the other really good news is this was the last whip that I had on my on my radar. It was the last project that I was working on. Sorry that the lighting is so bad, but I thought I would just come on very quickly to mark this momentous occasion that I have finished all of my works in progress, like all of them. I have not got a single work in progress currently, and I'm lost. I don't know what to do with myself because it's done. I can't remember how many I started off this year with, but I finished many more than what I started with, and all I'm doing at the moment is waiting for my calendar to block. So I will go into this a bit more on the podcast, but that is it. That is it. I just need to wait for it to dry, and then it's done. Eek. So I enjoyed a whole day of having 0 works in progress, and I started a new one. So this one, again, I know that this video is probably super long. I'm sorry for that. But my current work in progress, just skimming very quickly over it, is a Toft pattern, and it is called the Hockley hat. So I'll try and not give you the full pattern. But yeah, it is the Hockley hat, which is from their 15 Years magazine. So it's got lots of really nice patterns in there, but this was the main one that I wanted to look at. And one of the reasons I wanted to do a Toft pattern was because I had quite a lot of yarn that was left over from various projects. So you will see the project from my partner. Oh, is it all? The project for my partner is use the white and the mustard yarn. The silky chicken that I made for my sister-in-law a few years ago now, maybe last year, used the grey and the dark grey as well. So I just had quite a lot of it hanging around that I wanted to sort of get out of my stash. So these are the yarns that I have, and they're all Toft yarns. These were 25 grams. By the time I used them for this project, I think they were about 13 grams each. And this was originally 100 grams, but it was like 64, 65 grams. I've just started the pattern. So I've done 4 repeats of 7 of this pattern, and then it goes into the decreases. And I'm also colour working, which I've never done before, but I don't know if I'm even doing it right, but it's really interesting to hold like four yarns at the same time. On another note, I am kind of hoping that I've got enough yarn. So the pattern does call for 100 grams of this main colour, which I have not used close to that. So again, this was 65 grams to start off with, and I'd be surprised if I've used more than 20 grams. So that was the main colour. And then for each of the repeats, it says to have 50 grams available. So again, I had, was it 50 grams each? No, so it was 50 grams altogether of the colours for the repeat. So again, I had 13 grams of each. So that is, oh, okay, that. Sorry, I've just now realised that that's why it looks like I have hardly any left, because I'm quite short. Yes, so I have about 39 grams of these 3 colours. I think I am just going to continue the way I'm going and hope that I've got enough yarn to finish the pattern. What I could do as well, depending on how much yarn one round takes, I will have a look. I'll weigh the yarn and see how much yarn each round takes. If there's definitely not going to be enough, I might rip back the second yellow line and put the light grey in instead. It's getting the balance of not having a tiny amount left at the end of yarn, but also having enough to finish it, so that it's not like beautiful colour work in the middle and then it's just like light grey on the top, so it looks very unstructured. Yeah, it's not stressful. It'll be fine. It doesn't take that long. So each of these rounds takes about 10 minutes. So it does say that this project is between 1 and 5 hours. I mean, it took me around like an hour and a half, at least 2 hours to do this bit. I don't know why, but it did take me a long time. And then each of these takes about 10 minutes. So yeah, maybe I'll be close to the 5 hours, I think. This will probably be done by like sort of in the next couple of weeks. It crochets up really quickly. So if I do finish this, I will pop a little video here of it. And yeah, I think that is it. I've spoken for so long. So thank you so much if you are still here at the end. I appreciate it's been a long video, but that is because I haven't spoken to you for ages. It's really nice to be back. Hopefully you're enjoying some of the other videos that I am putting out at the moment. If you particularly liked this video, then stick around. I will be doing another podcast in the next month. And I will be releasing lots of videos about the DIY wedding and various other things that I've been up to whilst I've been away. So thank you so much for, again, coming back and being patient with me and watching this video. I hope that it's been interesting. If you've got any questions or you want to get in touch, feel free to get in touch below. And apart from that, I will see you very soon. I'll be able to tell you all about the wedding and how the crochet flowers held up, how my dress held up. And yeah, I'm so excited to see you next time for my next video. But yes, all the best, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.